Andrew Smith says, what do you think about Colby breaking his foot 30 seconds into the fight? Also, he was staying only 15 minutes away from the U.S. Olympic Medal Center in Colorado before the fight, which probably suggests that he was injured going into the fight. I feel kind of bad now for jumping on him. Yeah, and we don't know. We're going to have to wait for the x-rays and all that and see what happened, but certainly was a disappointing performance, and sometimes that is the case. And if that's the case going into the fight, that's very heroic for Colby. Most fighters will pull out, but he knows he couldn't do that. Now, Goodwill Hunt on Khamzat says, give him Izzy, then a title shot. Yeah, and I agree. It's just tough because Khamzat was promised a title fight already. And guys, remember that stuff. Troy says talks and doesn't fight. He will get smashed. Yeah, we'll see. We will see, baby. More on Colby. I think to some extent Colby had been overrated due to managing to not be overtly dominated against Usman, then the best pound for pound in the world, twice. The last few years, inactive or mainly beating mediocre or decrepit fighters. And I honestly still think that Colby in his prime is no worse than Edwards in his prime. Yeah, so I mean, a little back and forth there by Tyrion. And, you know, with the injury, it's going to just be interesting to see if Colby gets another shot. He's going to have to beat a top-notch contender, and probably two of them, to really prove himself. So Colby, with his back against the wall now and at 36 years old, how much more does he have left? He might not get a title fight until he's 38. That's a problem. And Jude Sue says, it's wild. You can still put a video together despite recording deep in the tundra. Yeah, it's cold out here, man. It's cold. Khamzat stinks. He's going to blow it, more or less is what he's saying. I think a fight with Cannonier makes sense. Let the winner fight for the belt. Yeah, so either Cannonier or Adesanya. And to me, Adesanya is a likely opponent because if you beat Khamzat, you definitely get another title fight. But that's a risk for Adesanya, for sure. Izzy on Bo Nickal. Can't be champ if UFC keeps feeding him bums. And, you know, they're trying to bring this guy. The guy's only got 5 fights. So he shouldn't be fighting for a title for the next 3 years. He should get a few bums and then a few better fighters and then a top 5 eventually. On Paddy Pimblett, Dylan Bowden says he looked okay. And it's a tough fight to take for Paddy because even if you win, everyone's going to say that Tony Ferguson is washed up and this, that, and the other thing. So it's a no-win situation for him. But it does add to his resume and saying that, you know, look, I beat Tony Ferguson. That's the bottom line. Is it's all about the resume, right? And you got to look good on the resume. You got to have some fights on there that people say, wow, you know, he beat Tony Ferguson. Even though Tony Ferguson's washed up, it's still a big name. Make no mistake about it. So as we roll into 2024, what belts will change hands? That's going to be the big question. The big 3 that didn't change hands could very likely remain the same. The flyweight will be interesting. Featherweight will be interesting with Topuria getting a chance. Can O'Malley beat Vera in the bantamweight division? And if he does, what's next? You got Tavalishvili waiting in the wings. How will Aljamain Sterling look in the featherweight division when he makes his debut? Can Tom Aspinall beat John Jones? Are they still going to let John Jones fight Stipe? That's what I want to know. That will be a shame. But all these questions will be answered. The light heavyweight division is going to be up for grabs. I think Pereira is going to have some tough competition coming his way via Jamal Hill, via Alexander Rakic, who's coming back. You know, there's a lot of guys that can do some things. So a lot of questions to be answered in 2024. And we'll be here every step of the way.
He's gonna fight, wait, he's gonna fight, wait, hold your breath till the end of the night. Last fighter call, UFC at its height, yeah. Bringing that thunder with all his might, saying step up, wanna fight, hold up, think twice, gladiator, assassin, reckless, no abandon, walk through that cage, he'll leave your ass stranded, wake up, hey, where you at, hey, got hit in the head with a baseball bat.